Okay, Sean Spicer, Chief Strategist, Communications Director for the RNC. How you doing, Sean? Good morning to you over there at Trump Tower. We just saw you on the camera showing up for work 15 minutes ago, so either you were on...
calling me out for being a little late, aren't you?
Either you were on time or you were late. I don't. You let the boss determine that. He said yesterday he will make an announcement next week on Secretary of State. Does that mean he has made up his mind, Sean?
I honestly don't know. I think as Speaker Gingrich noted, there's been a number of highly qualified individuals that have come through and sat down with him once, or in some cases twice, or had additional calls. Mr. Trump understands the importance of this role to enact his agenda overseas to restore America's place in the world, and he's taking it unbelievably serious. Meeting with these individuals, hearing them, probing them for their opinion and advice, talking about his vision and how they would enact it. So he's taking this in a very, very deliberative process, meeting with these folks, going through the back and forth that's required to make sure that there's a level of comfort and an understanding of what it takes to enact a Trump foreign policy and restoring America's place.
Okay, just based on that answer, I don't get the impression that you know if he's made up his mind, right? I mean, is it a maybe?
Oh, I don't. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. I mean, he alone knows will let us know when he has made up his mind. But clearly, because he is continuing these conversations, it would seem to me that decision is not final.
All right, a lot of things to get to here in the next 3 minutes. Liberal Democrats are going to go nuts by Scott Pruitt, the nominee for the EPA. How big of a fight will that be?
Well, I don't think it will be a big fight. I think Dana Perino was right before. You're going to see a lot of Democrats who are up for re-election who are in states that have mining or conservation efforts that are important, know that Scott Pruitt's been a leader in these efforts. I think there's a big difference between what the left defines as caring about the environment and what most Americans define as caring about the environment. Scott Pruitt has a strong record on conservation. He understands the balance between business and people being able to coexist and having clean air and clean water, something that we all ascribe to. He understands that Mr. Trump's vision is one of conservation, is one of a healthy and clean environment, but he knows that there's a balance between allowing businesses to flourish and not hampering with excessive regulations.
All right, I'm going to push you on here, okay? The Twitter spat with the union boss, what does Mr. Trump want out of that?
He wants the truth. I mean, here you have a guy that talked about Carrier and the importance of keeping the jobs. He picks up the phone. He closes a deal. People that are going to have a blessed holiday season, that are not worried about jobs, that get to spend this time with their family and friends, knowing that they have a job, good benefits. That should be something that's celebrated. And then you've got a union boss that goes out and fabricates how the story went down for no reason. He should be grateful for Mr. Trump and Governor Pence's efforts to help save those jobs. Instead, the guy whose job it was to actually be advocating on behalf picks a fight with the president-elect who went out of his way to advocate and fight for 1,000 people's jobs so that they could live next year and the years after knowing that they've got a good paying job with good benefits. And I think Mr. Trump is never going to sit back and let someone take a shot falsely at him without responding.
More on the transition process. Report out of Washington says the administration is alarmed at the slow pace that's characterized about the agency level transition. Is that true, or how would you characterize it?
If you look at the pace at which this transition has appointed people to the cabinet level to be ready on day one, it is far outpacing anyone in modern history. He's got over 10 picks right now for cabinet level people. Landing teams are in place. Those are individuals designated by the transition team to go to the various departments and agencies to ensure that on day one they're ready to enact a Trump agenda. So we are well ahead of the curve. I think, frankly, there might be a little bit of jealousy going on at the pace at which this is happening from the Trump administration, not just the number of people, but the highly qualified people that are filling these roles and making sure that they are all ready to get this transition done. But again, the numbers don't lie, Bill. He is far ahead of where any modern president has ever been, and that should be something that is more recognized as opposed to nitpicking at some lower level agencies.
Some strong commentary from Spicer this morning. Army-Navy is Saturday. Will Mr. Trump be there?
He will. He will. And
has that been announced?
As the president-elect, He'll be there, spend half of the game on the Army side, and then the other side with the Navy side as Navy goes for its 15th in a row.
Wow. Sean Spicer, thank you. We'll watch Saturday. Thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
It's going to be great, huh? All right.